In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in diaspora and at home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in diaspora and at home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Good afternoon, viewers. Good day, good morning, wherever you may be. My name is Godwin Iweajunwa, and today we have once again our program we call One-on-One. One-on-One is an interview program where we bring prominent figures, notable personalities to tell us how it is, what they are doing, and what conditions, whatever it is that it's happening. So today we have on One-on-One, myself and Sir George Chukwu from Toronto, Canada. Sir George Chukwu, you're welcome to One-on-One.
Oh, thank you so much, Godwin Iweajunwa, and viewers from around the world. We want to welcome you to One-on-One today. It's a very important subject that we're going to be discussing today. It concerns Nigeria, the economy, the welfare of the people, and everything that concerns us, including the governance in Nigeria. So I want to welcome the viewers from around the world. Today is One-on-One with a very important figure. We're going to be bringing him in shortly.
Yes, we're going to be bringing him shortly. So, but before we bring him in, let's look at that sector in Nigeria, the oil sector, petroleum and the crude oil. For some time now, Nigeria has lived on the proceeds from oil production. So that has been our major means of income. And but lately, a lot of things are not going too right. George, what do you say? How do you look at the oil, NNPC, and the oil sector?
You know what they say sometimes, a blessing can become a curse, at the back end. And this is what has happened to Nigeria as a country. We discovered that we had oil, in the 60s. And that has become, like a major hub when it comes to the economy and the welfare of our people. But we have so concentrated on it that it has actually, stopped a whole lot of, industrial revolution in our country because of our dependence in oil. So right now, the question is, this oil that is a major contributor to the revenues of Nigeria, has it become a cost for us because of our over dependency on that oil? What about other mineral resources like natural gas and all other minerals that we have in the country like gold and the rest of them? Nobody is talking about it. And as a result of this and our sole dependence on this oil, we have not developed our economy the way it's supposed to be, to have a multiple streams where revenue can come in and balance the equation in our nation. And that's what we are looking at today. Because with NNPC, there has been a whole lot, that has happened ever since the creation of this organization, to handle the oil proceeds of our Nigerian economy. So today we're going to be beginning and talking to the right people or the right person per se who's going to give us answers. Because there are many questions.
There are many questions, George, and you just did a good intro to that. George, another thing now is we initially didn't have, like they say, a refinery to process the crude oil. So what the government does is when we bring out extract the raw crude oil, they take it out to an outside refinery, and we pay for that whole process too. Then they bring it back and we use the finished end product. But now, George, we have refinery. we have the refinery in Port Harcourt. We have this one in somewhere in the
There's
southeast.
one in yes.
And Dangote has his refinery, and all of a sudden now, no production, no crude oil to be refined. Is that,
See the history? Yeah. You see the history of this whole entire thing was during the military rule. When Abacha came into power, he refused to release money, to take to continue with the process of refining the oil locally. And as a result of that, these equipments have actually gotten so old, dilapidated, and messed up. Now today, for some crazy reason, we don't know the reason why Nigerian government have not actually spent the money to revive all these 4 refineries that we have. We have two in Port Harcourt, one in Warri, and also one in the north. So some of the problems we've been having is the decisions being made by the people on top, especially with NPC. So today we want to find out exactly what is really going on, because now we are accusing Dangote of trying to monopolize, the refining of the crude oil. In the days of Abacha, what we saw was the refinery did not, we were shipping out crude oil outside of the country and bring the final product onto us. Let's welcome our Dr. Abdulraman.
Yes. Thank you, George. Viewers, yes, you are tuned in once again to SSM 101, and we have a very prominent figure with us in the studio, a stakeholder in the oil sector, and he's no other person than Dr. Abdulraman Sade. Abdulraman, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I hope you guys are very fine. Compliment of the season.
That you are here, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's such a pleasure to have you with us, sir. Thank you so much for coming.
It's my pleasure too.
Yes, you're welcome. So you are tuned into SSM News Network. It's a Nigerian diaspora network.
Okay.
We have coordinators and representatives in almost all the parts of the diaspora, where the Nigerian diaspora community is. So today you have it behind you that Nigerians in the diaspora will be listening to you. Questions might come in. A lot of people will be tuning, hearing what you say. So you're welcome, Dr. Abdulraman.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be with you today.
Yes. So with us with me here now is Sir George Chukwu from Canada, Toronto, Canada. George, let me put you to go first with your question for the doctor. Yes, what do you have for him? Go ahead.
Yes, Doctor, is it okay to call you Sade? Is that how to pronounce your name, or Sade?
Actually, the name is Sade. It's my village or my hometown in Bauchi state of Nigeria. It's not Sade because it resembles the Yoruba name Sade. Because
that's what I was wondering.
Okay.
Well, it's good to have you with us. So today we know what has been going on recently in the news, regarding the Dangote refinery and the accusation of monopolization of that sector of the business. I just, based on everything that has been going on, it is good to have you here that have inside scoop and inside information about everything that is going on. So my first question would be, how does NNPCL plan to address and resolve the recent disputes with Dangote refinery, especially in the light of allegations concerning the quality of the fuel produced and the potential establishment of monopoly in fuel supply sector?
Actually, what is happening is there are a lot of things happening. My real reason of being here actually is because of the news going around that they are trying. People are calling for the sack of Mele Kyari, the GCO of the NNPCL. I think all this clamor and this agitation is baseless. The reason why I say it's baseless is for a time immemorial, this Mele Kyari has come on board as the GCO of the NNPCL, and we've been having a lot of turnaround. We have seen it visibly. And all of a sudden, this is somebody that has been in the helm of the affairs of the NNPCL. The refineries, after he inherited a lot of backlog of a lot of work. We have the Port Harcourt refinery, we have the Kaduna refinery and the Warri, and a lot of good work has been done during his tenure. And we are looking at the Port Harcourt and Warri refinery coming on board anytime from now. So even Kaduna, there's a lot of this and a proposal, even though there's no definite date. But I want to assure you, this gentleman has done a lot. Even though I'm not part of the NNPC, I'm not a staff of the NNPC, but I, as a Nigerian, as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we should look at things. We should investigate. When I see on the news that people are looking like clamoring for the removal of Mele Kyari, that the refs want him suspended, I think we should not put the cart before the horse. We should look at what he has achieved and what he has inherited as with regard to problems. So when I now come on board, I'm trying to look at it, say that the whole of the matter is there's no need. They need sacking Mele Kyari from NNPC is like starting all over again. He has done reasonably well for now. And the issue of the Dangote refinery, I have had the other gentleman who is the task force. He has spoken really well, Farouk. He has really spoken well on all the things that has been happening about the Dangote refinery. Dangote is allowed as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and as a businessman to operate a refinery. But according to report, there are a lot of stages which Dangote has not yet reached. It's bit by bit. They are the regulatory body of any oil sector outlet, like the NNPC, like the LNG, wherever you go. Even if it's a filling station in your village, they had to go and look at it. Is it fit for it to be carried out or to be given the license? So the issue of coming to say that Dangote refinery is not fit and whatever, the regulatory body has already said it. Dangote has not yet met the specifications or the requirements, and he's on course. And they enjoy a very mutual relationship between him and that body. In fact, it has come to the end, according to what the Farouk was saying. Dangote used to even send letter of appreciation, and he expressed his appreciation over their cooperation towards coming about of the refinery. So the issue of saying the refinery is not doing this, it has not even yet reached the target. I hope you understand what I mean.
Yes, very well.
So my main concern is the way people are now saying Mele Kyari should be removed. I don't know. They should go and investigate and see what this gentleman has done for Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much.
Doctor,
obviously he cannot be there forever.
Yes,
absolutely. He has his tenure. You have said he has done pretty well. He has done something, which is true, because experience and that space of time he has been there as NNPC director has gained a lot of experience that nobody can just come into a road like that. But now what we want to ask is, what would be best plan for him? What about NNPCL having him as a head of a board of trustee so that he can still give advices, still give insights and things to whoever it is that might now come in as the director? What about so?
What I want you to understand is there are two things here that you mentioned.
Okay.
Advisor and the GTEO. Now, I'm not saying Mele Kyari will be in NNPC forever. Definitely there are tenure. We never expect Tinubu will renew his tenure as the next GMD or whatever. But when Tinubu did, automatically there must be something credible about him. And in case he is going, I want people to look at it critically. What has this man done? And what is he found wanting? Not just because in Nigeria we have the belief that whenever there's a problem with a particular parastatal, fire him, fine. It's not about that. It's about sitting down, analyzing what this guy has done. If he is going, let him go honorably without people accusing him of one thing or the other.
Okay.
This is somebody that I know that works assiduously and tirelessly. This is one person I know, he is working. In fact, when you tell Melikari, thank you for today, we are okay, thank you for the services, he will bow and go. He will just leave. He's not keen in remaining. But the problem is when you start something that you know is good, you need to be given a chance to be able to accomplish it. Even if somebody is coming to accomplish what he has started, there's nothing wrong with that. But as you are saying, for him to be advisor is different with when he is now the chief executive. Okay. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Very well. Yes.
So let me add another question, because the reason why he basically came into online, recently was because of his allegations against Dangote refinery. Number one, he was saying that they haven't reached that point, just like what you just said right now, and that the crude that they are using, or the refinery, the oil that they are refining is in a lesser quality, to what we are used to in Nigeria. Could this be as a result of the fact that Dangote is actually accusing NNPCL that they are sabotaging him receiving the Bonny Light crude oil, to refine locally for us, rather than importing crude oil from other countries that might be of a lesser quality? Would that be the reason why what is going on, because I need to understand the balance between the accusation and the reality of it.
In this country or in the world now, with the social media, everybody having his Android phone around, everybody tends to be a journalist. What I want you to understand is, yes, because everybody will just create a URL, send it, and say this is this and this is that, without credible, authenticated source. Now, the allegation about the crude oil, the infiltrated, the oil that is substandard and whatever, who made the analysis? Who had made the tests? Who went and do the investigation to find out we have so things? And if it is that had to do with Dangote, go and find out that has Dangote already finished his refinery 100%? We are proud of Dangote as a person. He's a Nigerian. He has brought a good development, at least for an individual to come up with a refinery. It's something to write home about in the country, despite we have our own. But what I'm trying to make you understand is everybody saying this is substandard, it's just a matter of hearsay. Nobody has the genuine laboratory test of the oil and whatever. So we need to understand that everything needs to be investigated before you now go to public with any information. And when they said they are sabotaging, there is no way NNPCL would sabotage the effort of Dangote. And when somebody were mentioning that there are refineries in Malta and whatever, everybody is privileged to say what he can say. I am talking on behalf of myself as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm not talking on behalf of Melikari or Dangote. I'm just adding my view as a concerned citizen and somebody that wants Nigeria to be better. The issue of Malta, whatever, we have a lot of crisis when it comes to crude oil. We have the price when it comes to the importation and whatever. So when Dangote mentioned Malta, he knew where he get his own information. But as far as I'm concerned, when Melikari came out to ask Dangote to mention names, when somebody dare you to say, okay, mention names. If Melikari is found wanting, let him be punished. And for Dangote to mention some social people in Malta and whatever, if there is credible information, genuine information, let it be brought to book. Nigerian security apparatus is one of the best in the world. They will be able to investigate. So the issue of they are sabotaging the effort of NNPC and whatever, I think all these things is part of what I now refer to as a quack media or journalism. Everybody wants to go to the get your data, go to the internet and start talking. It's not all about that. We need to respect the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what it stipulates for any other thing that had to do with the activities of either oil sector, private sector, and whatever.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor. Yes. But we can't overlook the power of the social media and what is going on, because somehow they bring also to us information that probably we never would have had years before. So one of such information is the fact that I hope you will put this to rest today, because a lot of people want to know. We used to have we used to refine our oil outside many years back. Is that correct, sir? We take
Yes.
our oil when we extract the raw crude. It goes out for to be refined because they say our refineries are not working. Now,
Yes.
Dangote has come up with this. Dangote is now telling us that there is not even the raw crude again for him to refine. So how do we make sense of all of this thing, even if it is the social media information that has come out? But somehow, Dangote is saying it. So wow, what is all of this? We have a refinery, now we don't have the crude. When we didn't have the refinery, we had the crude. So who's doing what?
Now, this is a very good question you are coming up with, you are raising. Even though you are trying to give credibility to social media, which definitely I can as well. I can give you that credibility. But the thing is, which of the sources, how genuine is the sources that is giving information about availability of crude oil or inavailability of the crude oil and whatever? We know we used to, because of our refineries, they are not really working well. Melikari came and met the dormant refinery. You understand? We have a lot of other GCOs, GMDs and whatever. So we know that we export crude oil to be refined. This is understandable for everybody and it's allowed.
Yes,
and the Nigerian country, as a person, everybody knows we export crude oil and now we have the refined products. Now, for any other person to say, it's just like you said you want to build a filling station. Say, okay, go ahead and build your filling station. Now you have your tank underground, you have everything, but you don't have the license. Or maybe you have not put your dispensing pumps. There's no way you can operate that filling station. I hope you understand what I mean. So, Dangote, according to what the Umar Farouk has said, and I have it, and I can quote him, Dangote has not reached the 4th stage. He is still in the 1st and the 2nd stage of the refinery completion. I am seriously backing Dangote to have a refinery, because he's a Nigerian and he's doing it for Nigeria, which is we are proud of that.
Very, very impressive.
But exactly, it's a very interesting development, and we have seen his effort through the former President Buhari, and we have come to a situation whereby there is a refinery that is owned by an indigenous businessman in Nigeria. So the thing is, let's go and check. Has the refinery been fully built? I am talking on behalf of, I'm not talking on behalf of, but I'm quoting Umar Farouk, Engineer Farouk, Umar Farouk.
Yes.
You understand? So the issue of sabotaging and whatever does not even arise. And let me not run away from the question you asked me.
Yes, doctor.
We have the crude oil, and they're importing. Just yesterday, I had the spokesperson of the NNPCL saying there's a gridlock where all these products have been offloaded. We understand, we can understand. Sometimes the flood, sometimes the roads, sometimes a lot of things could be a factor that will lead to a scarcity. But as I'm assuring you, there is nothing like no crude oil or no product that is coming to the country in the return of the crude oil. I don't think that is true. And I want you to investigate fully. Now, like for instance, you are in Canada. I can give you an information about what's happening in this country. I can tell you there's a riot here, there's a riot there. But when you send another person, the way you look at it will be different from my own perspective.
Very true.
I hope you're with me.
Very true. Very true.
Okay, Dr. Sade, there is something that I want you to address. In your own view, how do you view the NNPCL view of the involvement of the legislature, such as Philip Abase in the regulatory and operational matters? And what steps are being taken to ensure that the legislative process does not impede the corporation's objective and regulatory compliance? Because recently he came out and he was siding with one side, but I want your view over his Philip Abase's involvement in this whole issue.
Okay.
As a legislator in the House, yes.
What I'm saying about the legislative aspect of our country. Now, instead of a clamor or somebody asking for the sack or the suspension of Mele Kyari, I think they should set up a committee, which they are very good and they are well known for that. Set up a committee, investigate the whole situation. What is going on? What is supposed to be done? What has been done? And what Mele Kyari deserves. Not just going to the media. I don't know whether it's from generally from National Assembly or is the social media that I told you, everybody having an Android phone. But the issue of saying, get Mele Kyari sacked or get Mele Kyari removed does not matter. Does not solve the issue. What we want the legislative arm of the government is to do is to set up a committee. I know when they went to the Dangote refinery, and I saw it on the news, it's all over, and they are everywhere. The good thing about our legislative arm of the government is they are very agile. They can travel. Within no time, you see them in anywhere that concerns the public. So let them come up with an investigative committee to find out exactly what is the situation in this aspect of the oil sector of Nigeria. So the only solution to this is for them to come up with a committee. Let them find out what is exactly happening, not just jumping into conclusions.
But Philip Abase is one of the committee in the House that is looking into the situation between Dangote Refinery and NNPCL. You know, NNPCL is a profit organization, right?
Yes.
Because it's a limited liability right now.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So in that sense, then, do they view Dangote as a competitor to them? Do they view, because I want to see the balanced view from what is really happening. It was only recently that Dangote himself said that NNPCL did not pay the amount of money they're supposed to pay in order to get the 20%. That what they have right now is only 77%. Based on the amount, based on the amount that they have contributed so far and have refused to contribute further. Number one, my question is, why did NNPC not conclude what they started to end that 20%, investment in Dangote? And how do we view the relationship between the two? Would it be like what I call can they reach a common level of understanding that will be profitable to the nation, rather than looking at each other? Let them look in the same direction together.
Now, what I want you to understand is, you and I didn't know about the Dangote refinery until when it has reached a certain stage.
Yes.
There must have been a documentation, there must have been an approval, there must have been an like agreement and so many other things. So what triggered this issue of Dangote and NNPCL is when there are people around that have interest, not the interest of the government. If you ask NNPC, they will tell you exactly what they have invested in the Dangote refinery. Unlike some people are saying it's 7%, some people are saying it's 20%. Now, the government policy is a processional activity. It's something that takes process from one thing to the other. Because I cannot just bring a file to you as an MD and say, MD, just sign this file for me. I want to go and get something out of your parastatal or your company. It has to follow through a lot of processes. And there are a lot of agreement and treaties. So for people to come around now, it has triggered a lot of people, a lot of false information, a lot of false insinuations has triggered a lot of crises that made you and me understand that there's a crisis or there's a problem.
That's correct.
People were even calling for the sack of that engineer Farouk. That Imam Farouk is very innocent as far as I'm concerned. He is doing the right thing and he is doing it according to what he met on that table. Any other person can be there. He explained himself that there are a lot of things that any other person had to be done for him to be given a final certificate. So that issue of 7% and 20% is something that we need to ask the true picture from both NNPC and Dangote, because they are partners. You don't have oil, I don't have oil, we are consumers, even though you are in Canada. But in Nigeria now, despite we have some little queue on the filling station, but NNPC had been able to come out and say their own reason. The most important, the most viable form of transportation is the railway, which is not yet, is not as it was before. Before it is tankers, you see them on the rail, but now it is lorries, it is the trucks. which sometimes you see road blockage, you see flood, you see a lot of things. So in my own view, the issue of accusing either Dangote or NNPC does not really arise. We need to come up with a committee. We need anybody that wants to talk about NNPC should go and find out the crux of the matter. Not just saying, you understand? Because I am sure you can send me to NNPC and go and find out some information and facts for you. But you are in Canada. Somebody will be outside the country. Like the recent protest that is, they say they want to do. I don't look at protest as a solution to our problem. Most of these the people that are trying to finance the protest are not even in the country. So we should be able to understand that in this country, it's not just getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth, and going out and telling the world that this is going on wrong, Melikari is wrong, Dangote is wrong. No. We should be able to sit down and understand, get the facts of the matter.
Okay, let me ask you another question right now. I know, but I mean, if it's not broken, why try to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now. So if
it's not broken, why do you try to fix it?
Why try to fix it? Why try to remove Kerry that has done such a good job before? But recently, even as we speak right now, there has been fuel scarcity in our country, especially in the major cities like Abuja, FCT, in Lagos, and other places. There are lines, and then NNPC just declared a state of emergency because of that. And they're giving excuses, or let's say reasons, not excuses. The reason why this fuel scarcity was because the ship that is carrying the refined crude oil has not been able to bring out the product. Could you provide more details on the specific operational hitches and encountered during the discharge of operations of the vessels at the seaport, and what measures are being taken to prevent such issues from reoccurring again? Because it's costing the country millions upon millions of dollars when the fuels are not available. The people suffer the work. The food transportation is affected. People cannot go to work, the way they're supposed to. So there are many situations that are being affected with this particular fuel scarcity in the country. What can be done? Can you give us anything that you know that the NNPCL that are doing to prevent this from happening again?
Well, this is an absolutely technical and professional question you're asking. But I'm not going away from the question you ask. I will definitely give you, as a citizen and as an individual, based on my findings, I have found out that there are a problem of loading the product. And the other time we had some crisis on the fuel shortages in the cities like Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. It was as a result of flood. Now, NNPC, according to what I have just read, they are seriously working to be able to make sure that this product that has just batched at the sea is offloaded for the consumption of the Federal Republic of Nigerian citizens. So the issue, sometimes because of that is now another issue of the Dangote refinery that came in. If we have all our refineries there working, definitely we wouldn't have wait for any ship to bring. But because they are not functional, we have to wait. And there are a lot of processes. It's not like you bringing rice to your house in a bag and say, you just go, you give your wife the rice, the raw rice inside the bag, you just go to the table and pick your spoon. You have to wait for her to parboil it. You have to wait for her to boil it. You have to wait for her to do this. You understand? So, I don't want us to be rushing these people, even though it is their own responsibility to make this thing available. You understand? It is their responsibility to make the fuel available to the citizens of this country. But as far as I'm concerned, we have to wait for this product. And because of the chain of the hiccups, there are saboteurs. Yeah, sometimes some people will just be there just to strangle the effort of any other person. I was rushing because I know you are going to be here by 4 o'clock dot. You're going to be here. So I was rushing because I had to go to where I will make sure that I give you the questions because I offered to speak as a citizen. Yes. So right. I am assuring our fellow Nigerians, even though I cannot assure anybody, but I am telling them based on what I read, based on what NNPC has said, this product will be available in the very shortest little time.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Doctor, there's a question from a viewer. He says, I think this viewer knows Kiari very well. He calls him Kolo. Is that his name? Kolo?
Yes, Mele Kolo Kiari, yes.
Mele Kolo Kiari. He's a Nigerian. He's the chief executive officer of Nigerian Petroleum Company Limited. He knows his onions. He says he's a geologist. Is that correct? Is he a geologist? Did he study geology? Okay. So this viewer is saying he knows his onions and he knows how to go around this operation. So let's see how he comes through and wish him the best. Okay. That's a viewer's comment. I think somebody that follows the gentleman Kiari. Now, finally, from my end, Doctor, you sound very passionate for Nigeria, and we love this. We want to see a united Nigeria, progressive Nigeria, and a Nigeria that will be what we are truly are. We are truly giant of Africa. We are truly a dynamic set of people. You know.
Yes.
Now, Doctor, sincerely speaking, what are your hopes? What do you think could happen in this ministry, in the crude oil petroleum ministry? What good can come out for the good of the progress of our country, the good for the citizen having access to? I mean, the countries, for example, outside Nigeria that produces oil, Doctor. These are the best. These are where you have the best life standard of living for citizens. You know, talk of Norway, talk of Canada, where he is. Talk of, I mean, some of these places you have the best life. In the UK, Scotland produces oil. I tell you, the life in Scotland is quite different from the life in other parts of the Britain. So why can't we just be like, at least to a level, be like these countries producing oil? Let's look at the Far East, Qatar, Oman, Dubai. All of these countries are enjoying the dividend of oil production. So why can't we, Doctor, tell us what is the hope for us as Nigerians?
Actually, I am very hopeful and I believe in one Nigeria.
Yes.
Now, the thing is, we as the common people from the downtrodden, like the masses, let me say, from, we have the three classes. We have the common man, the masses, the bourgeoisie, and whatever. You understand?
Yes. The bourgeois, yes.
So we need to put Nigeria in our hearts. The biggest problem we have is we don't have the civic responsibility, or our own idea of the country is not so passionate like the other countries.
Okay.
I want to assure you, based on what Mele Kyari came and met, I'm not talking on behalf of Mele Kyari. I'm not close to him. I don't work for him. But I have been monitoring keenly about the activities of the NNPCL when it is government, when it is now privatized and whatever. When we put patriotism, anything that had to do with the government, people look at the government property as a property for nobody. We had to guard our property, our government property, jealously. And I'm assuring you, if we can start from the grassroots, if we can get enough respect for our country, patriotism, sense of belonging, we have to be law-abiding. A lot of things. I can understand the NNPC had to go extra mile to be able to safeguard our pipelines. If we can be able to do what the government of other countries can do, I'm telling you, Nigeria will be better off.
Yes.
And I want to advise our leaders to be transparent. Let us look at the common man. There's hunger in the land. You will see one man will be having like 10 trucks of rice in his house, and his neighbor doesn't have even one single major.
Oh.
I cannot imagine somebody riding a vehicle of 280 million naira, and somebody is even walking on his street without slippers. We had to change our modus operandi. We have to change. We had to make sure that we had to go back to the drawing board. And I'm telling you, this protest they are trying to protest, it's something that we can sit down and amend it amicably.
Okay.
Definitely, the country is in hunger. We are hungry. The country, the leadership of the country, we had to make sure that we cut costs. What happened in Kenya, I don't want it to happen here. I don't pray for it. But immediately during the riot, the president came out. He cut the cost of almost everything. But I am imploring the government to be able to look at this issue as soon as possible.
Thank you.
So my own solution is, I think both the ruling class, the common men and whatever, we need to come on board. We need to make sure that, yes, we are putting all hands on deck. Everybody should contribute his own quota so that we can make Nigeria better.
Thank you.
As an honorable member of our country, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, to have you to come here on behalf of Mr. Kerry, it is very notable and very, very, I don't know how to describe, the fact that you will take out your own time to come to defend this man, knowing the history behind his achievements and everything that he has already done. It speaks volume of you as an individual, as a member of our honorable member of our community, that you will come out and take out time to let the nation know that this man has done so many great things. And as a man in your own caliber also, you are putting your image on the line to defend him, which I applaud mightily. Because if people like you does exist in Nigeria today who will speak out the truth about what's really going on, then the solution is imminent. But the fact is that there are so many personal individuals that are, they are self-centered, pocket-centered, not nation-centered, like what you are saying. So we applaud you for coming online to tell the people about what Kerry has done. And to me, I haven't seen anything that is really happening, because people that are fueling this, like you said before, possibly had some interest in what is really going on. So, in final, just what you have said is so beautiful so far. But I want you to speak directly to Nigerians right now. For these few minutes that we have, speak to Nigerians about your heart regarding what is happening with the fuel subsidy, because there is allegation right now that the fuel subsidy is still being paid. And the government has not come out to say, no, we are not paying it. And we know that, scientifically and mathematically, it is impossible for them not to be paying based on the price of fuel on the stations and what is being paid with the crude oil and, transportation back to Nigeria. So what would you say to Nigerians today as an honorable citizen of our country? How to maintain peace, how to have patience, and what do you think they should do, even with all of this happening right now in our nation, in order to bring peace and maintain peace and bring the prosperity that we need in our country?
Now, thank you very much once again. I think in conclusion, what I'm trying to make our fellow citizens of the Federal Republic understand is, even though I want to make a point of correction, actually, I'm not here on behalf, when you said on behalf of Mele Kyari. Mele Kyari doesn't know I'm going to do this. I'm just talking because I am a Nigerian and I have Nigeria in mind. And I'm well traveled. I've seen a lot of infrastructure in so many countries. I can give you a comparison of fuel price, farm price in Ghana, in Canada, in Qatar, so many other countries. But what I'm trying to say is we need to be patient in a very amicable way. We need to be patient. We need to be diplomatic in our approach. Nigerians, one thing we can put in our heart is patriotism. Once we are patriotic, and the most important part is let us pray to our leaders. I don't know why you can abuse a leader. Somebody that is leading you, you are abusing him, you are cursing him. And I don't know how you want it to work. So I'm imploring of our people in Nigeria. We know there is hardship. I am a villager. I used to go to my village. I have enough experience of what is going on in this country. Whenever I get the necessary opportunity, I will meet the president. I will meet any other person concerned and tell him that, look, Nigeria, we need to come back to the drawing board. And you need to be paddling your boat while you are looking whether there are people that are creating a hole on it. The president should sit up. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should sit up and understand that there are a lot of saboteurs. The issue of subsidy and whatever, he inherited the subsidy issue has been inherited. Buhari, during his own campaign, he said immediately we come on board, we will remove the subsidy. And Buhari, until he finished, he has not been able to remove the subsidy. Because the subsidy, there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of things that is not in the interest of the country. So at the end of my this thing, I'm talking on behalf of myself, not on behalf of any other person from NNPCL or whatever. If needs be for me to spearhead the removal of Mary Carey now, I will be in front. We'll ask for the removal of Mary Carey. But Mary Carey is doing something for now. Even if we are going to remove him, go and investigate. If he's found wanting, Mary Carey can always go home. I know him as a person that deals with things with absolute care and professionalism. He's a thoroughbred engineer. He started from the scratch, from the NNPC. He's very accessible. Anybody willing to tell him anything, he will listen to you, write or call him. So now my prayer to the people to my fellow citizens of this country is, let us be patient a bit. Let us approach it in a very amicable way. Too wrong doesn't make a right. If the government is wrong, then the citizen should be right. So that we approach the government and solve the matter. And that is my lastly, the only thing I will pray for this country, and I believe in Nigeria, and Nigeria will continue to be won by the special grace of God.
Amen. Inshallah.
And that is our prayer too. Yes. That is our prayer. But I just want to also commend you and thank you for taking out the time, because it's really, really important that we have people like you, honorable members of our communities and societies in Nigeria, who will come out because of your love for our nation to set the story straight and let us know what is in your heart. So we truly appreciate you and thank you so very much. And Massive Mark, what's your final word?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
When next I'm in Canada, I will use your jacket because I know how cold it could be. Thank you very much.
I have your style. Love.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you.
We'll have more engagement.
All right.
We'll have more engagement.
Thank you. Anytime, anywhere, and at any given time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have
a nice day.
With a major prominent figure in our country, Nigeria, and this is Dr. Abdulraman I Sade. You've been tuned on with him. We've heard from him directly. George and I have gone the one-on-one mile with him. So until we come again next week, thank you, Doctor. See you.
Thank you. It's my honor. Have a nice day. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in diaspora and at home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect